Everybody, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Yes, that's right. It's time for Sarcastic Distractions, the interesting podcast for interesting people. Featuring, as always, the Gentleman Society of Podcasting, myself, Harvey, my heterosexual life mate, David,
Hello.
and the ever-loving AJ.
Bubble butt. Hi.
Hi, Bubble Butt.
Bubble butt. Oh no.
I haven't heard that phrase in
Bubble butt.
Bubble Butt in a long time. I hope I have one. That was a good thing. You wanted a Bubble Butt, right? That was the thing?
No, I don't. Not then. Now apparently it's a good thing.
Oh, okay. But
I
back
was
then it
always
not.
okay with bubble butts.
Yeah, me too.
I like a nice butt.
Me too.
want it to
Yeah,
be
you
a
want
good
that,
butt.
like, you know, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like leg boobs.
Like if someone said I had a bubble butt, I'd be like, oh, that's a compliment, right? Yeah, that's what I'd take.
Well, I don't think for us personally, we shouldn't have bubble butts. I don't
Oh,
think.
okay. I mean, if I'm working it out, shouldn't I?
I don't know.
Well, I guess if you're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Just so you know that we're not talking about bubble butts today. That's not what we're talking about. That's
Technically, we have just spoken about bubble
That's
butts.
true,
but-
So we did. What are we talking about today, though?
distraction. We're going to talk about an adventure that I had. We've briefly touched upon it in the past about my year-long journey across North America in an RV, which took place in the later part of 2019 and the majority of 2020. So, peak pandemic era.
Well, you got the fun part, and then you got the good experience part.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
on our travel, we got like a dose of what it'd be like to travel outside the pandemic, and then what it's like to travel inside.
During
the
the-
pandemic.
yes.
Yeah, not even like now times pandemic. Like
No,
The
like
rough,
the
rough.
real times
Yeah.
like
pandemic,
lock the
yeah.
fuck down. Do not move.
Yeah.
like that type of
Even though
thing.
you're in the States,
Yeah,
do
I
not
know.
move.
And when I get to that part, that was very interesting, and how we were going to maneuver and stuff. That was it was quite the epic journey. But I'll preface by saying kind of what our plan was versus what it turned out to be. I've always had it in me to want to. I just love traveling. I want to travel the world, and I don't think there's a better education you can get than traveling. And the goal actually was to go to China for a year because I've been there a couple times previously, but we were going to go there, leave our day jobs behind, and try to live life in China for a year. And
Oh,
see.
that would have been difficult.
Yeah, but I got friends and people that I know, so it wouldn't have been that difficult. And because I've been there a couple of times, like you learn certain things. You're like, oh yeah, I can probably do this, that, and the other thing. So the idea would have been we would have went to teach English or something along those lines to make
Oh,
money,
okay.
make ends
Yeah.
meet and stuff like that. And I had enough of a safety net that I wasn't too concerned about that.
Well, as
But-
long as you have people that you know there, I think that's the key.
I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really
That's a big deal,
It couldn't be like me going to China tomorrow because
No.
I would enjoy it, I'm sure, but
Sure.
I would need to make sure that I have enough money to go to.
But the first thing you and I both know you're going to do is you're going to call Ming. You're going to be like, hey,
Well, yeah,
Ming,
because it's
hey."
China. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I admit, like, it's no knock against China, but
No,
if
no.
I had suddenly won the lottery tonight or something of
Sure.
this nature, it'd be more Japan I'd want to go to
Oh,
personally.
yeah.
I think you're right.
I
think I'd prefer to. I don't know.
The reason I want to go to Japan is because I want to go and I want to experience this thing I've always heard people speak about where you go into the big super city where it's just insane
Yeah.
and then you just travel on the trains that
I
they
know,
got there.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you can go to the mountainous. I was in South
That'd be
Korea
cool.
and I got to experience a version of that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you can get sushi here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
But
I'm sure
No,
it'll
I
be
think-
better there.
I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like China would have more old stuff.
I think they're probably equal in old stuff, but
Probably,
you know what's
yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna
Like
probably
I'm
agree with
more interested in history of places, I guess.
you. Well, and Japan is a younger country than China is, right?
oh, okay, yeah.
Because I mean, Japan is technically a defection of Chinese descendants that broke away. And
I don't think I've admit I'm not good enough in my history experience to really understand.
Yeah,
it.
I
I'm
could-
loosely okay. I'm confident enough in my
Somebody's
knowledge of
listening
history
right now going,
I
"Oh
know,
my God,
please
you're
correct
wrong."
us." I know, but I'm to have a loose understanding of it, and that would be what I understand is a specific sect of people broke away from China however long ago, and then migrated and created Japan.
Well, I think there are people who have been migrating all over the world.
Yeah,
to
I know.
a
Yeah,
certain extent, but
that's not that.
all right, we'll talk about that
But-
next
so-
week. We'll all do our studying on the true sort.
Yeah, no, that's what we do is homework around here.
But you would have gone to China. Why didn't
Yeah.
you go to China though?
Well,
Trying to get us
I
back
don't
on
remember
topic.
2019, but we were looking to do it in 2019, but the climate had just changed so dramatically within China, with Hong Kong and the being taken back by China, the laws that were going on, all of the situations with the protesters, amongst other things that were happening. Like they were going on lockdown. That wasn't really enough to deter us, because we were still considering going. We were still thinking, oh, we can make this happen.
Right.
And we, like I said, I'm confident enough with what we have in our on our wheelhouses that we can make it there. But could not predict the pandemic starting there. That we could not.
Well, no, and the other thing going on was there was the whole, we had taken one of the Chinese diplomatic
And
peoples
that too, yes.
and put
The
them under
Huawei-ers.
lockdown. Yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they weren't giving out visas, were they not? Like, they
Yeah.
And then the
stopped.
visas, yes.
Stopped
Now the thing
because
is,
we
I
took-
don't
yeah.
know if I have it anymore, if it's valid anymore. But because my last time there, I have like a 10-year visa. China.
Oh, but your wife needed to obtain such things.
Yes, but she also now has one too. Like when we made sure that we worked it all
okay.
out.
You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
it all worked out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we all worked that
Shit.
part out, so that way we had
Oh, okay.
proper means
Nice.
to go. I don't know if they're valid anymore, because Dave's right. They did do, or you're right. Sorry, they did a change in the visas. Sorry, so I don't know if they'd even be valid anymore.
Dave's
I don't.
never right.
I don't even know if 10 years.
I have moments.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So it just got to a point where we're like, oh shit, like I don't think we can do this. Like there's too many mounting pressures that we
Right.
can't make it happen.
Yeah.
So then we had to pivot, and how we pivoted, we were at a friend's christening, and they were telling us about an adventure that they had. They had a new job. They were going to basically pack up an RV bus
Mhm.
and move to BC. We're like, oh, that's a really cool idea. It's like, wait a minute, why don't we do something like that?
Mm.
And then my wife and I started talking. It was like, well, we can afford this, that, and the other thing. And then within about 2 weeks, we had purchased a new truck and a new RV. Just like that. Like
My-
it all just came together in.
That's like buying a whole new. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like almost buying a house.
It well, essentially is. It is exactly what it is. In fact, I still own it. So that's the only house I really own.
House with wheels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so the idea was, so, well, let's try this. And we're going to go across North America. So we were able to guarantee our times off work and all that good stuff. And,
Yeah.
they were good that way. And we had no idea where we were going to go. We had no idea what the fuck was going to happen. All we knew was for the winter, because it was around November of 2019 we left, we knew we wanted to go south, get away from a Canadian winter, right?
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And we had, for what it's worth, we got to spend about 2 weeks in a Canadian winter in that RV, and it is no fun. No fun.
Oh, that on your way back. That's right.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Even here, because where we were staying on their property, we got a couple of weeks of snow, and it was enough to realize.
Oh,
And when you're
Okay.
living on propane and only propane,
expensive.
very expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go through.
Remember when
fast.
that used to be
Stanky.
cheap?
Yeah. Well, now you don't. They don't
Apparently,
listen.
it's going up again.
No, that's
Yeah,
what I
for
mean.
sure.
I remember
It's-
when having the propane car was the cheap car.
Yeah. for sure.
Nowadays, yeah, it's more expensive.
Yeah, way more. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. So then, we ended up taking off. We made our way to Florida, but through there we went through Michigan, hung out there for a little while, and
Kind of makes sense. You went through
makes-
Michigan.
And then we did a night or two stay in Cincinnati. Was it right in Cincinnati? Close to Cincinnati. In Ohio there. And then like these are just stays in like Walmart parking lots and things like that. That's all we're doing, And then
Were you able to pick up WKRP?
I tried.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Sure, yeah. But we were making our way, and then our first, I'd say, major stay. It wasn't really that major of a stay. Would have been in Georgia. Georgia.
Georgia. Nice.
And no, not Smirnoff. I wanted to go Smyrna, Georgia. Smyrna, Georgia. But no, I
Does
can't remember
Smirnoff,
what-
Georgia have the ice? Is that it?
No, yeah, they did. Georgia Ice, exactly. Yeah. But we were there for a few days, and we discovered for the first time Chick-Fil-A. If you've not had Chick-Fil-A, it will blow your fucking mind. Like, I don't know what they do.
Did you like the mini board?
Well, yeah,
Good.
Of course I did.
Well, the company that I work for, we were behind the mini board.
Oh,
back
were
in
you?
those
That was
days.
you guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
that's
us.
good to go. That was like,
Not
oh, good.
anymore, but back in that day.
They should. You know what? I was thinking about your job for all the work you guys did for other, especially fast food, but businesses and whatnot.
Yeah.
They should send you samples. Other fast food.
Right?
In full honesty, for certain organizations, we actually used to.
It's gift cards.
Yeah,
or
not
something.
anymore as much because,
No.
policies, and we're owned by a different organization, which is a great organization that I love to work for, and I really, really do enjoy it.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have a Chick-Fil-A in Toronto.
I don't think they do. I think there's one in BC.
No, it's
Google that shit.
Calgary or something.
Go ahead.
Google that shit. I'm pretty sure there's one in Toronto.
There might be now.
I think you might be thinking of Jolly
on
Bees.
Young
No, there
Street.
is one now. in
There's one on
Toronto.
Young
Chick-fil-A,
Street.
please,
yeah.
by all means, for me.
It's
right.
just down the
That's
street
where we're
from
Yeah, there is one down in Toronto.
Dundas Square.
Okay, cool. Well, you need to go.
Then we don't need
'Cause
to Google it.
I will tell you this.
It is. I know what you're talking
We
about.
had it 3 times in 2 days.
Oh, really?
It's-
Wow.
I can't even explain it to you. I don't know what they do. If it's they're praying for the chicken or what, I don't know.
I
But
can't.
something is
They
going
must
into
be
it.
because I can't get behind a company that's not open on Sundays.
There you go. There you
Can't
go.
do it.
Well, I mean, I can if I'm working with that company.
Well,
I don't wanna work
I guess if
Sundays.
you're working for Chick-Fil-A. But.
Yeah, all right. So
Chick-Fil-A was good.
Chick-fil-A was good, and the whole part of it was nice. The hospitality they talk about with Georgia is no joke. Like they are the sweetest, most decent
That's awesome.
people. It
That
was
is
awesome.
cool.
Everybody,
Did you have to do the differentiating between sweet tea and iced tea thing?
we did.
Yeah.
I think that's a thing. Once you get past a certain point in the U.S., you just that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think after Michigan, it's pretty much it's pretty much when you got to be like, oh yeah.
I would like a sweet tea,
I
please.
remember going to was it Minnesota once, and I think I asked for it was like vinegar for my French fries or something like that. And they looked at me like I had 6 heads, or
Oh yeah.
Really?
yeah. And then it was in a casino in Minneapolis, and they had like the buffet
Yeah.
thing and everything like that, and they had all the sauces and everything like. But they don't call it gravy; they called it brown sauce.
Of course. Yes.
Brown sauce.
Yay.
Yeah.
That was the most unappetizing.
tasty.
I'm gonna
thing.
say, like, no, guys, come on, call this gravy.
Call it
some-
gravy.
You want some brown sauce?
Even if it is just brown sauce, call it gravy.
Yeah.
please. Like,
Yeah. We know when we're getting the true brown sauce, but we still call it gravy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. For sure.
So did you have when you were traveling? Did you have any sort of like mission statement, or like we have to do this, or we have to try this in every place we go, or
No, nothing like that. Because the only real mission statement we had were, let's just be open. Let's be open to what we have,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we had
Where I may want to go.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the only thing we both had things that we wanted to accomplish if we were
To
make
try,
certain,
yeah.
in certain areas, right?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to go to New Orleans. That was a place I've always wanted to go. We were able to succeed and do that. Becca's sister was in Florida, so she wanted to meet her, and that was why
Yep.
that was our first destination. And but so this is why we didn't have like we have to do this in every place we go.
right?
So the first place we landed for longer than a couple of days was Fort Myers, Florida.
Mhm.
And the reason why we were there was when we were starting to look into the areas that we wanted to stay within Florida. They were very cheap for right around Christmas time, which is awesome. And on top of that, they just had a lot of activities. Like it was for old folks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So a lot of shuffleboard.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. And yeah, everything was set up. And this is really our first time parking an RV on a lot outside of our friends or whatever. And
Gotcha. Yeah.
it can be challenging. that
can
in
imagine.
itself is its own fucking challenge. So Fort Myers, I'm not going to knock on Fort Myers. I don't know if I'm going back for any long duration or anything like that. Wonderful people, everything was nice, but it's just
A lot of Pabst Blue Ribbon.
yeah, a lot of Pabst, a lot of blue hair, a lot of and again, nothing wrong. We played bingo with them. We
Oh, nice.
So
did-
bingo, shuffleboard, and
Yeah.
bocce ball.
Yeah.
yeah, did all that stuff.
You're
And we
just
were-
prepping yourself for your old age. That's
yeah,
good.
exactly. We just I'm putting myself where I want to be in 20
Next
years.
5 years. I mean,
Exactly.
20 years.
Whoa,
Sorry.
hey. So and we were there for about a month.
In
just
Florida?
over-
Wow.
Florida?
Yeah, just about a month and a bit.
Yeah, I can understand how that kind of graded
That's
over time.
unfortunate.
Yeah, and again, like when you're in places like Fort Myers, like it is extremely geared towards the geriatric. So
The
there's
slow take.
so there's not
That's
a
why you got
lot.
stuck there a month. You got into the
Well, the problem is one thing that doesn't change is like people suck at driving. So a lot of really bad drivers in Florida. At least when I was there. But yeah. So in that time, we did all that fun stuff. We were able to go meet up with Becca's sister and her boyfriend and their family and did some stuff with them. They did some boating and things like that.
Oh, that sounds pretty good, actually.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That was okay.
yeah.
But for me, the one thing I want to do, if I'm going to go to Florida, and I like, because I have never had the desire to want to go. Like if people are like, oh, let's go to Miami. I'm like, okay. Whatever, I don't care.
Right.
Like, whatever. I'm not like a cocaine guy. You know, I don't care about Miami Vice. You know, like
No Scarface for you.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
like it's.
But
whatever.
did you do like? Because you're in Florida.
Yeah, sure.
Did you go to Disney?
No, we didn't. No.
What's wrong with you?
The
Well,
Disney
again,
actually is good.
So
yeah.
Fort Myers is a ways from Orlando.
But
Oh,
you're
okay.
traveling.
Yeah, I know.
You were there for a
but
month.
it's still a
It's
ways.
still a long drive though.
It's still a
real.
long drive.
It's a long drive. We just drove from Canada to
And-
Florida, but fucking
but
Orlando is a long drive.
Here's the other thing too. You have to understand. Okay. This
Tell
is
me
the
what I
first
have to
part of our
understand.
trip. Disney is very expensive. You know, we
Yeah,
are
I
trying to
guess
budget our
that's-
shit, and make
that's
sure,
That
you know,
is
and we
fair.
just
It is
dropped how
fucking
much on a
expensive.
month.
There's
Right,
a lot
to
of
stay
other
there.
things to do
And-
in Orlando, Florida.
Well, we didn't go to
I thought
Orlando.
you were trying to sell
I'm trying to explain to
Orlando.
you. We didn't go to Orlando.
Well, you should have.
Well, maybe we should have, but we didn't.
You should have went and saw.
Well, thanks, Captain Hindsight. Where the fuck were you?
You could have went and saw Mookie Moose.
Mookie
I coulda
Moose.
seen Mookie Moose, right? But we did go to see. We went to Jacksonville to go see AEW Dynamite.
Of course you did.
Oh yeah,
That
I
was
think
one.
yeah, I remember you mentioned that too
for sure.
before.
Stay-
Chris's Disney World.
And that's the other thing too.
in his
Like, I am
defense-
not a Disney World fan. Like, that's like, I mean, I'll go if and now
But you're
that
a
they
Star
got-
Wars fan.
Yeah, I am. But I'm not going to go unless I can buy a fucking lightsaber there. 'cause
You can.
Yeah, I know you can now.
Well,
but
no, you
at the
could then,
time,
too.
I don't know if you could. Well, sorry, I don't know if I could have afforded it.
Oh,
That's
that
it.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry,
That I
that
agree.
part. Yeah,
Let's put it this way: I bought Harry Potter one, not from the other
Yeah.
studio, and yeah, I think I was paying like $80 for one.
right.
For
Yeah,
a stick.
and I think
for-
it's about
it is a
$250
fucking
for a
stick.
lightsaber. I think is what they go for US.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
like, for me to go, like that's what I want to do. Right.
Now
I
the
don't
lightsaber
wanna,
was an actual lightsaber. I would fucking buy that for.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh.
If you could actually like
yeah.
cut bread with it and stuff.
That'd,
Oh,
be,
fuck.
that'd be fucking
I mean,
great.
that's-
Doesn't
I-
have to be like a full one. Just one
I'd
of the
give him
little
like
nifty things.
$5,000 for that. Like, yes, if I could have that,
I would buy that.
I
in
agree
an
with you. It doesn't
instant.
have to be a full one. Just as long as
I don't know
it's
what
okay.
I'd
Yeah,
give
as long as you can
$5,000
cut
for.
bread.
That's crazy.
I would pay. Yeah, I would do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If it
For
could
sure.
cut bread
And
sold.
toast it at the same time.
Yeah, I would totally do that. Yeah.
I would do that. Yeah. And then, yeah.
Sorry.
Get on it, Hacksmith.
Yeah, they already have one. They have a working Proto Saber.
Yeah, but I want one that I can have.
Yeah, I want one I can have and that cuts the bread and toasts it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
And I don't want a proto saber. I want a fucking lightsaber, all right?
To get the lightsaber, you got to start with the Proto Saber.
Well,
That's
no.
how it works.
In order for it to be a lightsaber, you're going to get into that whole, having to sign up and pay them to get access to the name and
That's
all
true,
the
yeah.
copyrighty
Yeah,
stuff.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
True. And you got to
Yeah.
give all the money to Lucas. Actually, it's not Lucas anymore.
No, it's not
Disney.
Lucas.
It's
Yeah.
Disney.
Disney?
Lucas just
It's
sits
still-
there
it's
at
still
home
Lucasfilms.
relaxing.
Yeah. He consults. He consults. He's like, I don't.
I mean, you
I
give,
like we did the Jar Jar Binks there. You got
I have to admit, I
give
would.
me $4 billion. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll fucking do the
No.
same thing.
Yeah, I
I-
would do.
You know, the funny thing is when that deal went down, I thought $4 billion. You guys got lucky. Like you got it easy. I feel like it was worth way more. But
So do they
really-
give him $4 billion in a lump sum, or is it like
I think it was
cash for
shares.
life,
It
where
was
they
shares.
give you
Cash for
like
life.
Right, yeah,
X
probably
amount a
not.
week or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
We'll give you $1 million a week.
Like, if you're the person brokering a $4 billion deal, how are you not sweating bullets? Like I feel.
And do you get
You
a
know-
commission? Is it
Oh,
like selling
yeah,
a house?
good
That's
point, yeah.
organization with organizations in
A whole
between.
different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's
Anyways,
where when
Mickey
we
Mouse didn't just walk up to Luke Skywalker and hand him a sack of money. That's not how it works.
That's not what it worked. Yeah.
Oh well, fuck.
Although I'm sure Ed Eisner, whoever's in charge of Disney, did dress up with a Mickey cap. And like, hello there, George. I'm sure that happened for sure. Absolutely.
No.
yeah.
No, probably
Misa give you money now.
not. Exactly. Yeah. So, anyways, back to my trip. So
Fine.
from Florida, we had a great time in Jacksonville. It was awesome. We stayed at a Cracker Barrel there, and we spent our New Year's there. That's where we did our New Year's.
You stayed. That offends me.
Why?
Cracker Barrel.
Have you been?
Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Offends me.
Why?
Because it's a racial slur.
But there's so many races that eat there. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's not just. It's just
Yeah,
not
yeah.
I
one
don't
particular race.
appreciate being called
No,
that.
really,
Thank
no,
you very much.
No. It's not a barrel that's full of crackers.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Have you ever been to a Cracker Barrel? Oh, they're fucking amazing.
Why would I go to a
You've
Cracker
been, yeah,
Barrel?
I'm sure you've been, right?
I think I've been to one back in the Vegas days.
Explain
They're best.
explain to me what a barrel of crackers is. Is it premium plus? Is it Ritz? Is it
I don't know.
great value?
It's a higher
Oh,
level
come
than
on.
all of those.
Yeah,
and
it definitely is.
you pay for what you get, but it is kind of worth it. I must
But
admit.
seriously, explain a Cracker Barrel to me.
Basically, they got like one side is like a country store where you can go pay bunch of stuff for whatever they have. It could be games, it could be food, it could be whatever.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, they have a restaurant with extremely affordable, massive meals of.
Okay, I've
homestyle
not been
cooking.
to a Cracker Barrel.
Is it like a
delicious.
buffet kind of thing?
No, not really. They have a set menu. Depending on where you go, can change a
Okay.
little bit. But they have things like biscuits and gravy, chicken. And biscuits
Oh,
and
okay.
It's
collard
the type of
greens.
location that's a classic American where you're like, yeah, I'll get some chicken with some French fries and gravy, please.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they bring out a plate about the size of this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a ton of shit. And
Too much.
then they charge
too
you
much
like
food.
$6 for it. You know, yeah. So we grew very fond of Cracker Barrels as we went, and they're very friendly to RVs. So if you're traveling in an RV, Cracker Barrel's your friend. Whereas you have to always ask a Walmart or Costco or whatever.
Did you stop at a place called Buc-ee's?
I don't think
It's
so.
apparently the largest truck stop in the world.
No,
And it's like this giant, yeah.
but we did stay at a lot of truck stops.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You kind of
Because they let truck stops is the whole thing. They're
Yeah,
pretty
pretty
much
much.
open.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're carrying a rig, you can
Yeah.
stop at a truck stop. You know,
A rig.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a rig.
Did you
I love how you.
Did you have like a CB radio in your rig?
No,
Rubber ducky, this is
But-
flat cap.
but and I don't want to get too deep into the story because it might ruffle some feathers. But there was one person who was a trucker that we were communicating with, and it was on our cell phones, and it was so fucking annoying. I'm pretty sure it was a CB radio. It was pissing me off. So if that's what anything with a CB radio is like, I don't think I want one. I just don't think it. I think it's just like a fun idea to me.
You don't want to do the Smokey and the Bandit thing?
Nope, I don't. That's just not fun.
Why not?
Fair.
Because like if it's back and forth, and
Who's first of all, whose feathers are you going to ruffle? Are you ever going to talk to this person ever again?
I hope not. But we're not
Well,
going to get into that right now.
Yeah, I know.
Why not? It's part of your trip.
Yeah, it is. But we're gonna go on.
That one's a little later. I think I
That's a
know
little
this
later.
story to
Yeah,
a certain
for sure.
extent.
So then we made our way across the Route 50.
I think it was
Interstate
52.
52. Interstate 50. To New Orleans. We had to leave
Nowlands.
Louisiana.
Nowlands.
Louisiana. It was a long drive. It's good. I think it was a good.
Was it around the Mardi Gras time?
It was just before Mardi Gras. Yeah.
So people are ramping up.
Yeah, and we found out a really cool thing you can do is stay at public parks.
Oh.
And they're very, very cheap.
Nice.
Like, really, really cheap. We
Good.
were paying like, okay, so I don't know what we paid. Paid about $700-800 for the month in Florida.
Okay.
Which, trust
That's
me,
not terrible.
it's not horrible. It's not
No,
horrible.
for a whole month. That
For a month.
Yeah.
Exactly, right. And we were paying at the place, the shout out to, what was the name of those guys? Anyways, it doesn't matter. The public park in New Orleans, I think we were paying like $30 a night.
Oh,
It was
wow.
really cheap.
no, it'll
was
be about
really cheap.
900 for the month, though.
And was
Yeah, it
this
would be.
close to
Not saying it's a bad price, but
what you would do in New Orleans, like Bourbon Street, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
we were about I'd say about a 20-minute drive from
Okay,
right
cool.
from the French Quarter. So we spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
The first time where we were at, we spent some time just kind of checking out nature and learning a lot about
The Bayou.
value and just about also how they've been handling life since the
the big.
hurricane.
Right.
Katrina. And you would think like something that happened, what was it, 2004, 5, 6?
I honestly can't remember. I just remember it being that big thing.
It was
yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the stories still affect them. Like they're
Wow.
Well, I
heavily,
can imagine the
heavily. Oh, yeah.
entire
You got some
region was just.
PTSD on that stuff.
Fuck.
eh?
Well,
up,
you
yeah.
walk through forests and you just see seashells.
Oh,
everywhere.
really?
You're like, why are the seashells everywhere? And it's
Oh,
because
wow.
they-
That's wild.
Yeah. hmm And it's like everywhere. And then you learn about the districts in New Orleans specifically and kind of what they dealt with and how certain districts were affected worse than others.
Yeah.
We one of the things we did do that we wanted to do was Becca and I wanted to check out different churches, see what other churches are
Well,
like. and stuff
especially
like-
there.
Yeah, especially there. And actually, I'll come back to the Florida thing because we did go to a really freaking cool church in Florida. But we went to this one church, and I don't know the name of it. If you're watching this, my bad. And it was definitely like a fire and brimstone kind of.
Oh.
And Beck and I were clearly underdressed to be there.
Oh,
Pretty
okay, yeah,
Oh.
But they were really sweet and kind. They wanted to ask us what we're doing there, Canadians, yada yada yada. And you become a celebrity for the day because they want to know everything about Canada. But we were asking them about Katrina and whatnot, and they were telling us how, yeah, the streets were just lined in RVs and vans of people just trying to stay where they could that was dry. Other
Gotcha.
places where,
Yeah.
and a lot of it was around churches, so that way the churches could help out, and they could have people that were staying at the churches, and while they're airing stuff out, and it was really traumatic
Shit.
for them. Like it was a lot, and people lost their homes, their lives, and beyond.
All of it.
Was this spooky?
Yeah.
Like voodoo,
So this
like voodoo spooky.
Yeah, I gotta say, there's some pretty fucking spooky shit. One of the cool things, and by the way, I'm gonna throw in a link. We did a vlog called the Soul Tripping Vlog. It's not completely done, but a good half of our journey is on there, so you can go check that out. One of the cool things about New Orleans, a lot of cool things about New Orleans, but
Sip. Breathe.
because of I think it's because of the Katrina issue. Most of their they have underground graves.
Oh,
For fear of them obviously flowing up. There's a lot of above ground graveyards. They're everywhere. That's interesting.
I think that's kind of a thing before that though, because I remember
Maybe,
seeing
Yeah.
like movies and stuff
Horror
Yeah.
movies
before,
and, stuff,
and
yeah.
you always had the big mausoleum. No, I won't say mausoleum, but it looked like a casket that you would put a casket in.
Yep.
Almost,
sure.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
The crazy thing was when we're there is you're driving on the highway, and when you look highway, you see city blocks and buildings and things like that. What you do,
The passenger does. The driver.
the driver
focuses on
hopefully
the-
focuses on
yeah,
it.
hopefully, yeah.
But you'll see in these New Orleans is such a unique place because you'll see these graveyards just in the middle of neighborhoods. It's just really strange. You know how we kind of do ours a little off-skirted, trying to
Yeah.
Not really. There's
yeah.
graveyards
Yeah.
all throughout town.
yeah.
Because it's an over history thing and everything.
Typically, yeah. But
Yeah.
I just thought with the raised ones, I thought it was
Well, no,
very
that would be a difference. Where around
awesome.
here, it's usually more graves in
Yeah.
our classic sense. But nah, that's one thing. You think of any part of London, there's a
They're
grave
there.
site.
They're around there, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just thinking of major metropolitans, which New Orleans is weird because it is, but it's also not. You know what I mean? It's very small town feel. Even when you get to the French Quarter, you can tell who the locals are versus who's not. And if you
Right.
typically if you're
Okay,
a
yeah.
local, you're probably not hanging out in the French Quarter.
That's how
Yeah.
it's- yeah.
Or if you are, you're not hanging out in the main strip.
Did you meet any real Cajun people
I sure did. Met a bunch of Cajun people.
that you couldn't even understand them? Cajun people.
Yeah, few. Yep. In fact, they were trying to give me advice on where to go get food, and I couldn't.
That's-
food,
you
how's
smile,
the-
say thank you,
Yeah.
and
How was
just
the
walk
food?
away.
We'll get into that in just a second.
Okay.
Okay, quickly back to the Florida thing for a second. The church. We went to a church called The Rock, and it was fucking awesome. It was the one I wanted to bring you to because we had always said when we were growing up we always wanted to go to a Black Baptist church,
Oh, okay.
right? Just because of the experience, whatever.
Yeah.
This was the closest I've ever been to that.
I would love to experience that.
And the
That'd
thing
be
is,
cool.
when I walk into a church, I'm very critical. It's just the way my brain works and whatever. And I go to this place, I'm just as critical as I always am. And I was so overcome with emotion. I couldn't fucking hold it. It was the craziest thing. It was so overwhelming. I'm just in tears. I don't know why. It was just happening. And it was just the music was great. I don't know what they said. I don't know. I don't know what the lesson was. But I
it
don't
was
care.
the feeling.
It
and the
was, yeah.
vibe. Yeah.
And then, it was really, really great. So, shout out to The Rock.
Kind of like that
Cool church.
that scene in what is it? Coming to America.
Blues Brothers. What
With-
popped
with
into
the
my
preacher,
head.
with the preacher.
A little bit. Yeah.
Coming to America.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But it was really cool. That did not happen at the New Orleans church. And then the French Quarter. I met some really cool things. One of the cool things we did there, LSU is their big university, Louisiana State University. Obviously, they love their college football. We were there when LSU won their big NCAA championship, and we got a chance to meet some really cool people. Shout out to the Steinmetz brothers, who showed us a good time at a really cool brewery called Brûlerie. And we just drank and watched the game and got excited with them because their team fucking won in the heart of
And you're in the crowd.
yeah, of course,
Cool.
yeah, which is
Yeah.
really awesome. But then they do a parade, and
They
that
do parades for fucking
oh
everything.
my
there, yeah.
god, we know nothing about parades. They got this shit on lock.
Oh yeah, they do it right there
Oh.
with the band coming through with the
It's
horns and
amazing.
brass
It's-
bands and shit. Yeah.
I that's something I would never get sick of unless I was working. It's you're trying to get around it. That'd be pissed off. But if I'm just there to enjoy, it was amazing. Just big bands and all that
yeah, it'd
fun
be
stuff.
fun.
It was really
That's
really,
something I would like to
really, really
experience.
fun.
Yeah.
I got interested in that sort of thing. I mean, I've always been interested in that, but when Foo Fighters did their Sonic Highways thing, and they were recording in different places in the U.S.
Oh, I
Right,
remember
yeah.
you
and
mentioning
they
that.
recorded in New Orleans with the Preservation Brass Band
Yeah, man.
Nice.
with a guy named Trombone Shorty, who's like an amazing
That's a great
trombone
name.
player.
That's a great name.
But
Is he
yeah,
short?
it's I don't know. I don't think he is. But I mean, the song they did with him, I can't remember what the name is right off the top of my head. But it's a great tune because it's got that horns and all
Yeah.
that kind of thing going on. Right?
Definitely doesn't sound like a Foo Fighter song either.
No,
Because of
that
kind
record doesn't. I don't
I
want to
don't
go
know,
listen to
no.
that record now.
good record.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can kind of get, and I know they have parades for funerals as well.
They do.
They do like the brass band thing.
Oh, okay,
and they'll go
gotcha.
through the graveyard and everything like that. It's
Yeah.
more of a stop squeaking. It's more of a celebration as
Yeah.
opposed to a mourning,
Right.
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Which I think I want that when I go.
Yeah.
I want
Parade in my honor? Fuck yeah, that'd be
I want
amazing.
a party.
A parade.
sure.
Shit, I'll take a parade.
I'll
Yeah.
take that. Why not? Oh, he
Right.
died. Oh, we got to get a parade going. Yeah.
So like, if you put it in your will, doesn't legally have to happen?
Well,
No.
no.
No, will is simply the distribution of your property.
Fuck you guys.
and people. Yeah, when it comes
Well-
to having your funeral or what's done to your body, that can be put
Right.
in your will and things of that nature.
But if you are tight with the executor of your will, you can request
I
that.
guess.
to
oh
happen.
yeah, you can
Right.
request.
For
Oh,
sure.
hells yeah.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
again, when it's
I
one
mean-
of those. And for me, it's one of those things of when the day comes, in 60 years where okay that happens. I don't give a flying F what people do, but do what you want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like case in point, Johnny Depp and Hunter S. Thompson. When Hunter S. Thompson went away, died, didn't he like put his remains in a cannon and
Yep.
shoot into the ocean? Like
No, I think he shot it. Was at his farm.
Oh, right.
His
Yeah, I think you're
estate
right.
or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So yeah, if you got the right person that's willing to do it
Yeah,
for you,
that's
fuck
true.
yeah. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna put that in my will.
Get to
Give
the
me a parade
food,
picture.
man.
All right. I'll say this: the French Quarter and New Orleans itself had some really great food. We ate a lot of Church's chicken. We ended up going to a bunch of really cool little spots. They have like these weird cafeteria style places, but all the food was amazing.
Nice.
I'm gonna get to the food in just a second. I'm gonna
Okay.
talk to you real quickly
I'm gonna flip this fucker.
about one of the greatest fucking nights I ever had drinking. And I'm gonna talk about it on air anyway. So tell you guys about it. So the gentleman we met, Eric is one of their names. Him and I were gonna get together another night, and he was working in the restaurant industry, so it wasn't gonna be till later. So Becca and I, we showed up on the French Quarter. So you can drink alcohol openly
Mm.
in New Orleans.
Yep.
However, you can't have things in like metal containers and whatnot.
Glass
You
bottles.
Yeah,
It has to
standard
be in a-
rules.
Yeah,
It has to be in a solo
for
cup.
sure.
Yeah. Standard.
So,
rules.
but the thing is, I mean, if you're gonna buy drinks, crazy thing about New Orleans is it's not an expensive place. Like it's not, you're not going there. Like when you go to LA or you go to somewhere else, New York, you expect
Yeah.
to pay premium prices. That was not the case with New Orleans. Maybe there was places like that, but we did not find those, which is great. But if you can save money, you're gonna save money. So if I can buy beers at Walmart versus
Yeah.
on the
Gotcha.
on
On the strip.
yeah,
Yeah.
then why wouldn't I do that, right?
Yeah.
So we did that. We showed up early. We were supposed to meet a friend at around 10 o'clock. And we showed up 6:37, parked our truck in just
Someplace. Yeah.
someplace in a man garage. And we get there, and this is the craziest thing, but there's a wedding going on or some sort of formal thing. There's all these really lovely young people all done up to the nines.
Okay.
Dresses and stuff.
Yeah.
And so Bex and I were just having a good time, people watching, just having a couple drinks,
Yeah.
and then some people are a bit of a gong show. You're like, oh, well, look at that person, whatever. And before you know it, some people, I don't know, they just kind of catch on that we're not American. I don't know how they knew, but he's like, he figured it out. So he's like, he's from Minnesota. So he's like, I don't know if there's some sort of accent thing. Starts talking to us. That was really weird. He's like, well, let's go watch because we want to watch a UFC fight, which is going to happen later on that night. So we're going to the bar, and he buys us a beer. I'm like, that's really nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
And we have a beer, and no big deal. And he's like, well, it's kind of dead here. Let's go to another bar. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. It's this guy, and I don't remember his name now. Who cares? But he's never say this. And his two buddies or whatever. And so it's those three and me and Becca. So we go to this bar, which is much more like, and the crazy thing is in New Orleans in the Quarter, every bar is different. You'll go to a fucking jazz bar, and then right beside will be like a rock bar, and then right beside will be
Nice.
a country
That is
bar.
cool.
And then, yeah, it's really cool. It's really fun. Like the sounds are just nuts. So we go to this bar that's more of like your kind of traditional blues, but more of a dancier kind of place. So I'm not one to just let people buy me beers. I like to contribute and buy back. So my thing is I'm going to go get this guy a beer because he bought me a beer. Right. So it's a cool thing to do. So I go to the bar. They're dancing, whatever. And I'm there and I'm waiting in line. All of a sudden, they're gone. I'm like, well, that's really weird.
Yeah.
That's strange. And I'm like, well, fuck it. Fuck the beers. I don't want them. I'm just going to go find out where my wife is at.
Yeah.
So I go there. And I don't know if this guy was trying to hit on my wife or not. I'm not quite sure. But there's something, he was not up to any good.
Right.
Is
the guy that bought you the beer?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, gotcha,
I got the impression like, oh, this person's, something's not right.
Something's off. Yeah.
So there was these drunk people, again, these young people there, and one girl's just a mess. Like she should not be out anymore. And these guys, they're not taking advantage of her, but they're also not taking care of her really well.
Right.
So Becca's like tries to step up. It's like, this girl needs water. This girl needs a cab. Like, help this girl out. So she tried to help out in that way. And then the guy's like, well, let's go dancing at another bar. The guy that bought us beer is like, okay, sure, whatever. So we go to this really cool bar, which is like a salsa bar, but it's like in between all these other bars, and there's no roof at all, so it's like just moonlight coming in.
Okay.
Nice.
That was really cool. It was really neat, right? Sure enough, this guy goes to try to hit on these girls, fails miserably. I'm able to buy him a beer successfully, got him one, got me and Becca one, but now Becca's gone. Like, this guy's still here in the bar. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I talked to this guy, whatever, and all of a sudden these girls come to hit on me. I'm like, well, no, you're not my wife, so see ya. So I go find Becca outside, and I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, yeah, I got some weird vibes. Like, me too. You want to get out? He's like, yeah, let's go. So we were both on the same page. Something was off. But then we started talking, and I don't know how many beers deep I am at this point, but I'm feeling no pain.
Right.
Right? There's these street prophets, people that like to tell you all about
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha, yeah.
whatever. And for whatever reason, both her and I got into conversations with a couple of people asking them about why they do this, what it is, and whatnot. It was kind of interesting to get their perspective as to what they think they're doing is a good thing and whatnot.
Okay.
And it's interesting. So it's fine and good. Now it's time to go meet our friend. So this is all before we got a chance.
All before you got to meet up with your buddy.
My buddy, right? So we go to a pub, we meet up with him, and I'm pretty sure I probably shouldn't be served at this point, but we're not going to get into that. we end up hanging out there for a little bit, and he takes us on a wild ass adventure. He takes us to this bar that like celebrities go to. I think something the Rose or whatever. We just saw no celebrities, but we had like really great drinks there. And then he took us to this place called the Dungeon, which is like the rec room on fucking steroids.
Oh God!
But way better. Like it's an actual. I think it's an actual dungeon because we literally our table was inside like a jail cell.
Yeah,
which is
it's
really
kind of cool.
That's all kinds of no good vibes going on in this whole story, man.
Just a wild bonkers part. So then, we drink there. They have my favorite beer there, which is called Lagunitas. One of my favorites. And we fucking drink. I made a dude in a tutu. And I'm asking like, what?
You made a dude?
No, I met a dude.
Oh, okay.
In a tutu. I'm like, gotta know why you were in a tutu. He's like, well, I work for Jim Carrey, didn't I? I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. That's sure,
fair.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
And he had some ladies on the go, so what can I say? So
The kids call that peacocking.
they do call that peacocking. Exactly. That is true. That is true. So then we end up going to another spot to have dinner at around 1:32 in the morning.
Holy fuck.
2 in the morning. Yeah, fucking best burger of my life.
Yeah.
Best burger. I don't know if it was. I was.
It was probably cat food on cardboard, but fuck, it was good.
I have to admit, I've done something similar. Actually, you were there for when I did the Vegas thing.
Oh yeah.
We really should eat there, Dave. We ate there last night.
Exactly. Yeah. So then Eric had enough. He's like, I've got to go to bed. I'm like, yeah, us too. But we clearly were in no shape to drive anywhere. So we go back to our truck. They won't let us into our truck because it's in like a manned spot. They have to drive it out to you. But what they did do was left it on the road. We ended up passing out on our truck for a couple of hours before we went back. And then I just passed out for like 2 days straight because I was so done for.
Nice.
It was a crazy trip.
You remember when you have times where you drink like that as not youth, but in the 20s? And don't get me wrong, you wake up a little rough.
Yeah.
And then by the afternoon, you're fine.
Shake it off.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh God. no.
Now,
No.
with you, I did that, back in October or some
Yeah.
even time ago? No, last October. Christ, it's been a while.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, yep, nope, yeah, a week later. Okay, shit, I'm starting to feel better.
I know.
Yeah, right?
My body does not like it when I do that to it.
No.
It hates it. So
nope.
So that was I love New Orleans. It was great. But the food, we went to where was it? We got a tip for another park that was still in Louisiana, but not in New Orleans. And now I'm totally
See
missing
like
the place.
Bubba Gump shrimp or something shit like
no,
that. Like kick you in
fuck
the knee.
no. This is like the heart of Louisiana. Like this is where like Creole started, where
okay.
people immigrated from Canada to set up the French part of their culture. So this is where it was. Oh man, I can't remember the name of it now.
Either way,
Anyway,
describe.
So
Was it amazing?
unbelievably amazing.
Nice.
Unbelievably amazing because of small town vibes, and the park we were at was cheaper than the place we were just at, but nicer, and it was filled with wild animals. Oops, sorry. There's just wild animals everywhere, which is crazy. Like you're like wild armadillos just hanging out.
Armadillos?
Just armadillos. Just
And,
take whatever.
and gators?
Yeah, there was a few gators, and bear patrol. Apparently, there were tons of bears there. We didn't see
wow.
any, but they're apparently there. And wild pigs. Lots of wild pigs.
Huh.
That was interesting to see too.
Yeah, interesting. A wild pig.
Yeah.
Free roam bacon.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was nice to stay there. It was a really interesting spot because even though there was other lots, the way it was designed, you felt alone because you're surrounded
Gotcha.
by their
Yeah.
forested area or jungle area. I ate etouffee, which is the first time I've ever had that, which is like this really unbelievable shrimp gravy sort of. Oh, fuck. It's amazing. I love it so much. I wanted to see if they like sell me a vat so I could bring it with me because I knew I was never gonna get it again. But they said no. They just settled for giving me a little bit extra. That's
Oh,
that's
nice.
nice. So also we tried crawfish, which is a big thing there. You know the whole thing there. Never done that before.
No.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that again.
I don't do sea bugs.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no.
I would try. I've never done that.
Well, we're told you got to do it when when in
Yeah.
Rome, sort of thing. So we did that, and it was fine. I'm glad we did it, but it's again my thing. My thing. You know, if they're there, if I'm at a party or something, someone's offering, okay, yeah, sure, but I'm not gonna probably go out of my way to order it.
You like suck on the head and all that gross
I don't
crap.
know if I did do that actually.
Yeah, they tell you that's where all the good tasties are.
Sure it is. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
yeah, I've never done.
They were
I would try.
There was a sweetest restaurant, and if you go through our Soul Tripping vlog, which we're going to link, you can see exactly what I'm talking about, and check that out. They were really sweet. The owner wanted to meet us for whatever reason, and he wanted to give us all this food.
Nice.
He was like, and he wanted to give us this dessert that they're famous for, their sponge cake, or what's it? I can't remember what it was. Giving us proper instructions on how to cook it and whatnot. And that was really, really, really fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was New Orleans.
Sweet.
Or not New Orleans, Louisiana. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then from Louisiana, where do we go from there?
I don't know. Where did
Oh yeah, Texas. Holy shit.
You got in your
So
truck.
the whole idea was we had no real major goal. We just knew we wanted to make our way out to California. And the
Fair.
reason why we wanted to go to California. The reason why I want to go to California, lots of reasons. California. First off. Second, with a writing background, my wife with a singing background. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So we're making our way, and we made our way to Texas by Texas for Super Bowl time. So that would have been
February-ish.
yeah, just
somewhere.
before lockdown starts.
Which
just-
would have been mid-March-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just before lockdown, and Texas was fun. It was neat. It was. We didn't go anywhere major other than San Antonio. That was kind of
Nice.
the big city. We
People
stayed in
walking around
Hondo.
with guns and shit.
That's all across the U.S.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere we went in the U.S., they're carrying guns. They're very proud of their guns. Like that's just part of their culture.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cell
I'm
phone in this pocket,
I'm
gun
sure
in the
there's
other.
Yep.
there's some places where it's.
Michigan.
I was gonna say you don't necessarily see it in like
Yeah.
Michigan,
Michigan.
Minnesota.
I mean, you'll see it.
places
It's
like
maybe
that.
not as
Minnesota,
prominent.
you will, but yeah.
No,
Well, I
not
mean,
as
you'll
prominent.
see it. You'll see it in Detroit. It's just not okay.
Yeah, not
But-
the okay way.
Yeah, maybe not okay with. But I mean,
but I'm talking about like cowboy style.
yeah, everywhere we went, I would say. But yeah, Texas, like they're very proud of that fact. And
I was gonna say so far we went to Florida, Louisiana,
Yeah.
yeah,
Texas.
Yes, all 3 states where people are proud of. Look at my gun.
They do like their guns. Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
And what's funny is Texas, or I won't say this about just Texas. This is pretty much everybody I fucking talk to in the States about guns. It's always the same thing. And people that like I met that are like vegans and pacifists and whatever, like, oh, they're all about their guns. Like it's a thing. What they would always say to me is like, well, you got to protect yourself. Like, okay, cool. So what kind of gun you have? Well, I got this rifle or this gun as my protection, but then I got this other gun because, you know, it's just a really cool gun. I was like, oh, okay. But have you ever had to use it to protect yourself? No. I'm like, so what's the point? That's pretty much virtually every conversation I've ever had.
It's like a car you can hold on your hip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Kind of one of those like point of pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had a really cool experience with a couple of people, conservative people that just super nice. And they came up to us in our RV in Walmart, start pitching to us where we should go for food and all this sort of stuff and yada, yada, yada. I was like, okay, that's fun. And then they, pretty much invite us over to like this golf course restaurant thingy for Super Bowl party. Like, that's awesome. And we made some really fun friends. And I guess they were Californians that migrated here and they love the Texas lifestyle, yada, yada, yada. And it was really cool. Really, really great. And then from there, we go from Texas. That's San Antonio. We were only in San Antonio for a day. We went to go check out the Alamo. We went. They did a movie thing, so we checked out the movie and we walked around San Antonio. It's really cool. It's a really nice city. But it's one of those things where it's like we watched the Alamo. I'm like, wonder what this would look like from the Mexican point of view. I feel like it would be very different.
I honestly don't know.
Well, because I mean, like it's like anything, right? History's always written by the victors, right? So,
yes.
so. I wonder what Mexico would say. I'd like to go on the other side, the Mexican side, and see what their thoughts are about the Alamo. Because if you don't know the story about the Alamo, basically it's set up where a very small group of American rebels and soldiers stood up against a number of Mexican soldiers, and they did it. They did it for a long enough period of time where the American army could. The U.S. Army could rally troops to kind of finish the job, right? But
sorry, I got confused about what was happening.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Me too. Yeah. So I'd like to hear that, but it was cool, and I'm glad to say that I was in Shawn Michaels' hometown. That's kind of neat.
I know Ozzy Osbourne peed on the Alamo.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to see him do that now. Fuck, that security is tight.
That's why.
Wow. That's because of.
That's why.
It's because of Ozzy P.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But it was cool. It was cool. I like the that. Which is interesting with San Antonio. It kind of started reminding me of like Niagara Falls because they're starting to put like tourist attraction.
I was going to say it's a tourist trap.
Yeah. It's like okay, all right. Well, I mean, whatever.
I feel like a lot of places like that might be like, I don't know if you went there, you get into it, but like the Mount Rushmore or
no, we didn't go there.
Niagara Falls
you got like one thing and you just kind of build off that.
Yeah,
that's probably true. Yeah, you're right. Mount Rushmore is a place I want to go. So then Texas was okay. We left there, and where do we go from there?
Is everything bigger in Texas?
Yeah, it's fucking huge, dude.
But like everything.
Yeah, go buy a steak there.
Yeah,
see. Yeah, it's not a joke.
Well, they have cows. They have lots of cows.
They do have lots of cows.
It's like even Hondo. It's just a small town. It's a pretty big town. And going through Houston, Houston was awesome. I wish we could have spent more time there too. Yeah, Texas is big, massive.
Huh.
I would like to go spend more time in there. The one place I didn't go in Texas that we want to go to, we're hoping to go back one day, is Austin. That'd be the place I'd like to go and hang out. And if I was to live anywhere in Texas, that probably.
Well, Austin's the Democratic portion of Texas, and they don't have guns.
Well,
really?
I'm sure they have guns.
I don't know. I hear an ass.
But you're right. That is the more.
That is the more democratic. Facts down.
No. Those are just day facts.
But you're right, though. It is a more democratic.
It is democratic.
Yeah,
I know
sure,
that
absolutely.
much, but I don't know anything about the guns.
And then from there, was Vegas next?
Well, there you go. The important part.
I think it was Vegas next.
I'd have to be looking at a map of the U.S. or something like that because I'm not sure how close Nevada is to. Like, wouldn't you have had to go through like New Mexico to get to?
Yeah.
Nevada,
Oh no, you're right. I'm totally fucking missing. Oh my god, Arizona. Thank you. That was their next trip. Was Arizona.
Do they have good iced tea?
I don't know. Have any there?
We were just talking about that.
I had only one thing I wanted to do in Arizona. I mean, Arizona's nice, and we got a really cool park, which was neat because Arizona was in and the time of the year we were there was in this weird climate where it's so cold in the morning, it's snow. But then, like by noon, it's like you're in a
It's
tropic.
warm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Really?
shorts and t-shirts. Yeah,
Oh, that's wild.
absolutely. You can go swimming. It's wild.
Weird.
It was a lot of fun. We wanted to go to Jerome, Arizona, which Jerome is Maynard James Keenan's kind of home base from Tool. That's where he said it was wine country. Yada yada yada. So that's where we wanted to go. That's why I wanted to go there. And that was really fun. Jerome is like the U.S.'s oldest ghost town. And you learn about the history about it. You learn about the fact that it used to be an old prospect town and it was vibrant. And then when the money dried up, came down to like less than 10 people. And it was like that forever. And then, Maynard came in, like the climate. And
now they're going back up.
And now they're becoming a tourist kind of spot, right?
Yeah, cool.
Different. To give you an idea of like the elevation or altitude that Jerome is at, it's a 20-minute drive from the base to get into Jerome.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Wow.
It's a trek. It's a trek. I was very impressed.
Nice.
And we were there for it was still February, so we ended up doing Valentine's Day there as Caduceus Cellars, which is Maynard's vineyard.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
they had a old haunted hotel.
Nice.
That used to be a haunted hospital. Of course it did. Of course. And we were gonna stay. We thought, which I'm very impressed with my wife because she's not a fan of like horror.
Oh, she's not.
That's
spooky.
not her thing.
No.
And the fact that she was even considering it, I'm like, okay, this is neat. And we didn't. I think it was just money wise. It was just like, well, because you're looking about like $250 a person a night.
Oh wow.
It's expensive. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's
A person? You think it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
room?
No. It's
Shit.
They know their
Wow.
value for sure. But we did grab some food and drink there. That was really nice. That was cool. But they also had a book, just stories. People write their letters about their experience
Oh, okay.
there.
Gotcha.
And then we started going through that, and you're like, okay, maybe there either is something going on, or the hotel's doing it, or
I was gonna say it's supposed to be a creepy
Yeah.
hotel, and they put auto creaky floorboards and
But
shit. Yeah.
you get like a fucking like you get a psycho vibe just looking at the place, like you know what I mean, like just like you're like that place is there's something going on, and they're just capitalizing on it. And then there's a bunch of other cool spots. Some of the best Mexican food I ever had was there. We went to it was really cheap too. We went to at the base. So there's another city. I can't remember the name of the city. The base is Jerome. Jerome up here, drive down, cross the highway, and then you're in this other city. And they, which is pretty much like everywhere else. But you go to this authentic Mexican place, the best tacos ever.
Well, yeah.
Ever. To the point where like I was like tipping them. Like I can't believe how fucking good your food is. Like no, you take more food. I'm like, are you serious? Like yeah. It was amazing.
Nice.
It was amazing. So Arizona was nice. I would definitely go back there, but I don't know if I would go in the same area. I might go.
Well, you gotta go somewhere. Yeah.
Gotta see
Yeah,
what I'm
that
doing.
makes sense.
And then after Arizona, I think was Vegas. That makes sense. Yes.
No Area 51.
No Area 51.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you got to think of our timeline too. So we're watching the news as we go. So we
Yeah.
know something's
Going
looming.
into the rough.
Yeah,
When
so-
you hit Vegas is when.
when things really
Yeah,
started
yeah.
to get really bad. So we're trying to like kind of measure our moves here. It's like, well, where are we going to go? How are we going to get there? What house do we have to go home? Like we don't know
Right.
what we're going to do. So Vegas, as Dave knows, you don't need more than 4 days in Vegas. In fact, more than that might be too much.
Yeah.
Right? Like Vegas is like a quick gunshot. It's like, hey, sweet ride, but you don't need to be there
It's
for
an
long.
amazing gunshot.
Agreed.
though.
Yeah.
I love it.
I agree. So I'm telling Becca this because she's never been there before.
Mhm.
I've been there. We've been there. We
Yep.
love it. We should talk about a Vegas trip, like in detail one time. That'd be
No, we just gotta go back. That's more.
No,
of it.
I agree. Let's go back. And we found this RV park, and they're so popular. It was right by Sam's Town. Remember Sam's Town?
Not off the top. head.
Way off the strip.
Hey, that's a Killer's album.
It is a Killer's album, and it's
Probably named after because they're from Vegas.
That's exactly right. And they got a wonderful display in the casino, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I was hoping because they do wrestling events there, they would do that when they were there, but they did not. So, anyways, so we stayed at this park, which was actually really cheap. But the way it works is they're so packed, they could only do like 3 nights in this one spot. They got someone coming in that we'd have to move our RV to another one.
Gotcha.
This is crazy. This is fucking nuts. The story, I couldn't make it up if I tried.
Okay.
So we're in Vegas, and we're not like I don't see us spending more than these 3 nights there. And the third night, something breaks down. One of our motors on our RV. You know anything about RVs? The motors that pull in the side rooms, if you will.
Okay. The yeah.
They're very expensive and hard to replace.
Probably.
So yeah. So we had to figure out how we're going to deal with this. And then later on, our other motor broke. So we had
nice.
2 fucking broken motors. Actually, we had one fixed and then the other one broke.
Oh, bummer.
Talking about altogether probably about $1,100.
Wow.
$1,200 for the 2 motors going up. And that sucked. And we're panicking what to do, whatever. We met a wonderful couple by the name of Ted and Sharon. Shout out to Ted and Sharon. Awesome, lovely neighbors and folks. And I can't wait to see them once again. They were just jokes and fun. We just had a lot of good times together. But they showed us their side of Vegas. They go to Vegas all the time.
Nice.
So we go gambling with them. I do other stuff with them. Go to dinner and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
They're really, really good to us. Well, one night, this is nuts. I would say I'm a relatively conservative gambler. I'm not a person that just goes and throws out money.
Right.
We've talked about like I've told you this before. I'll throw $20-$40 out, whatever it is, and then if I'm losing, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not gonna keep throwing money at something that's stupid. All right. So that's kind of this year. There's these 4 machines called Top Dollar machines. I'm not sure what they're called. We're in the D, and we're playing them. I think I dropped down like $80. I'm like, yeah, that's good enough for me. I don't like slots as it is, whatever. And I think Becca may be the same thing. I don't know the full detail, but it's me and Ted, and it's Sharon and Becca that are gambling together.
Yeah.
And this happened on both sides, and neither Becca and I knew this happened. So Ted's like, well, here, man. It's like, oh, are you done? I'm like, well, I'm just going to chill out for a bit. I'm not going to, I'm not going to, whatever. I'll go get money later. He's like, okay. And he's like, well, here, why don't you take like this $100 and just gamble it for me? I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. I don't mind. Spend other people's money, not my money. Right? And he's like,
weird.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And if you win, keep the winnings and just,
give me back the 100. Yeah, okay.
Okay, sure, whatever. Well, sure as shit. I won like $250.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's really great.
Yeah, stop. Give him the 100.
Exactly. Yeah, not bad, right?
Nice.
Yeah, not bad, right? Well, I guess the same thing happened with Sharon and Becca, and I had no idea that this happened. But Becca won $1,200.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Cover off the costs.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Covered up pretty much the exact amount we needed.
Nice.
For our repairs. So 4 days in Vegas turned out to be 2.5 weeks.
Oh,
That's how long we were there.
Because of the repair and all the back and forth. Gotcha.
Thankfully, Ted and Sharon were there, and they were awesome, and we got to hang out and stuff because one thing is you realize when you hang out in Vegas for longer than 4 days, and if you don't hang out in the Strip, it's a very dirty town. Like this, it's not good. There's like you realize
you have the Strip, the pretty Vegas.
Yeah.
And we're all throwing our garbage on the rest of Vegas. Yeah.
Vegas is built on the backs of garbage. Like that's just the reality, and it sucks. But we got to, whatever. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of great dinners. We went to a bunch of movies there, and that's all fine and good. We left Vegas literally a week before lockdown.
Nice.
Wow.
So if we didn't leave then, we would have been there for the lockdown.
Yeah. So
we made our way to Bakersfield, California, and the only reason why we went to Bakersfield was we knew it was there was a trailer park there that was accepting RVs, relatively inexpensive, and we just needed a holding pattern to figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah.
The whole idea was we have to decide, are we coming back to Canada or are we going to continue on our journey? And if we're going to continue on the journey, what does that look like? Mm-hmm. We have friends of family members that lived in California and, where do they live now? All right, guys.
In California.
Anyways, Christina Ben. Shout out to Christina Ben. We wanted to visit them before we left. And we weren't sure when we could leave because we weren't sure what was going to happen. So they were closer to San Francisco, which was very far from Bakersfield. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of a drive. So we go to, when we're in Bakersfield, we're there, we're figuring out what we're going to do. We're there for maybe like 2 days. And Becca and I are like, well, we can go home, but we have to live the rest of the winter in an RV. And that's even if they'll let us go home. We didn't like.
Yeah.
We didn't know what that looked like. We weren't sure what was going on. So we decided, say, all right, let's screw it. Let's hunker down here in Bakersfield, and which is not the prettiest city, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And we'll stay our duration of what we're allowed to be here, and then we'll try to make our way home. That's kind of what our thought was.
Okay.
To Canada. So yeah, that's what we did, and it was weird because now we're in full lockdown mode, and going to Walmart and other things was very difficult. And I don't know what it was like here in Canada, but in the U.S. it was very surreal and very weird.
Like pandemonium?
At some points, yes.
See, we had lines. I think that was the worst that we got. It was like, I gotta go fucking Walmart and I gotta wait outside a fucking line.
I remember waiting in a line to get groceries.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
I did do that when we got back to Canada,
Yeah.
but no, that wasn't really the case. It was more like do whatever the fuck you want, but try to remember to wear gloves and masks.
It was like free for all. Okay.
Kind of thing, yeah. But then it was weird to get shortages. Like I would go and get coffee from like 7-Eleven because we were close to a 7-Eleven, and then they stopped serving coffee and they stopped serving anything that was,
Oh, we had that here too.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Restaurants
Of
totally
course.
shut down.
Yeah. So that was like, okay, well that's interesting.
Toilet paper.
Yeah.
Oh, those were funny.
The
That was not
fuck?
Anyway.
It was
So
just
why?
funny. It was
Why?
funny.
No, I know. We just go there and fucking seeing like a one per person when they come back out. We're like, what?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nuts. It was.
That was here too. It was
yeah,
just funny.
everywhere. It was just so weird.
But why?
People.
Yeah, it's people.
People.
There became
gotta-
that bit of a
gotta have
pressure. A couple of stores ran out,
Paper.
and so people start to spread. The rumors start to spread. It goes on to interwebs, and then you get the other people who go and happen to buy a whole bunch and then sell it in the parking lot at twice price and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, one thing I got pissed off at in the U.S. or in Bakersfield was seeing people selling masks for like $15 on the side of the road.
Yeah, it was
Like,
here
oh,
too.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just got used to the 3 seashell method. That's what I did.
Yeah?
So,
Yeah,
so-
nice.
Why
Nice
toilet
call,
paper
though.
after that? Yeah, thanks. So Bakersfield's weird. It's Merle Haggard's from there. If you want any sort of frame of reference,
Corn is from there.
Corn is from there. It's just a strange little town. They call it the armpit of Cali. I don't know. We
No,
met
it's like
some wonderful.
Oshawa here in Ontario.
It very much is. I would say I liked the park that we were in because it wasn't an old folks spot. It was like a working.
Okay.
So there's kids and families, and they had a pool and stuff, and it was really
Cool.
cool to be a part of that. And but Bakersfield, and for being somebody who enjoys their cannabis, is like the only dry part of California.
Not only is it the desert,
But you cannot.
but
You cannot solicit cannabis legally there. So we had
So
to.
you just kind of have to go like the next town over, kind of thing.
It reminded me of the days just before legalization here, where it was just gray
Ah,
gray
yeah.
shops everywhere.
It's funny. Footloose popped in my head. No dancing.
Yeah, exactly. Same idea. So we stayed in Bakersfield for over a month. Oh, 2 months.
I think you
Maybe
called
2
me
months.
from Bakersfield.
I did.
You
Yeah,
did
we talked a little
video
bit.
chat. Yeah.
Did. By the way, shopping at Costco's and Walmart's way better than the U.S. Million times better. Just every way, shape, or form is better.
I've always found that. I've always found that too with because where I grew up, the little town called Fort Francis is right on the border, International
Yep.
Falls,
Yeah.
of Minnesota, and I always found that going to even just grocery stores was more of an not experience than it was like because it's different. They have different products.
Well, they do have different products.
Right?
Yeah, it's far
So
more
it's
like,
open.
so it's like whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
especially nowadays, it's always in the States. They're very much, you can buy what you want. That shit's bad for you, but you do you.
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly,
here, it's nope, not allowed to sell.
Yeah.
Well, even things like fucking Captain Crunch Berries.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
shit
yeah,
you used
yeah.
to see on like Saturday morning cartoons or
Yep.
something like that if you're watching Fox and Friends or
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And yeah, it's you never got that stuff at
Nope.
It's
Safeway.
true. No, it's definitely not.
Nope.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So Bakersfield there for a couple months. We had a good time. Made friends with the owners of the park. Made friends with lots of people there. It was really great. Wonderful young couple there. Had some really nice dinner dates. Met some family members, and then we went to our friends Ben and Christie's. Closer. Shoot, I totally forget the name, but it's closer to San Francisco. We stayed there. Their family for about 10 days. They are working on a wine grafting farm. So that's
Oh,
what they
nice.
do. They
Cool.
yeah. So that was fun. That was cool to be a part of and see how they live life there. But then it was time to come back to Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and that was weird. Because we came back when like nobody was allowed to cross the border, which
Well, you're Canadian, so you're allowed to come back into
Yeah,
Canada.
but like
Yeah.
my experience across border
and you did the
patrol,
2-week thing. Well, your experience with Border Control.
Oh, fuck,
We could
beans.
have an episode just on
I
that.
was gonna say you didn't have any razor blades in your shoe, did you?
No. But that's the thing. So we came back and like we made sure everything was spotless. We didn't
Yeah.
have anything, whatever. We just didn't want to have any issues at all.
Yeah, there's already
Uh,
enough fun.
Exactly. Everything we have to declare, we have it. We know what we're going to
Mm.
declare, whatever. We're literally the only people coming back across the border.
Oh wow.
The only people.
Yep.
And she was shocked as shit we were there, giving us trouble. She's like, "What are you doing? Do you know there's a pandemic?" I'm like, yeah, we're aware. That's why we're here right now.
We're well
Thank you."
aware. We're trying
Like,
to get home.
You know, you shouldn't be out there having fun when all this like, oh yeah, thank you, because fucking hanging out in an RV park for 2 months was fun.
Well,
Appreciate
you know
it.
what I love is how you're describing, like, this is how you responded, and we both know no. Oh, you're totally right.
Oh
We
no,
probably-
of course, yeah. Of course,
Yes,
whatever.
yes, ma'am.
Of
Yeah.
course.
No,
yeah.
ma'am.
We're wrong. We're horrible.
She was very pissed, and I'm not like gonna take anything away from her, but my theory is she's just pissed because she thought she was gonna get away with like no paperwork today, and now she's got to do paperwork. Like, that's what it
yeah.
felt like, right? Because as soon as we're across the border, they do these like little checks along the way. Nobody acted like that. Everyone was like, "Oh, just chill, you know."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was easy. So it was interesting, and we came back, and she's like, "Well, I can't." She's like, "Well, you're Canadian citizens, so I can't deny you." I'm like, no, you can't. So fucking let us go home, please. And then it was harder in Canada to find a place to stay because the way we treat RV parks here in Canada, it's recreation only. The people they don't treat them as living
Yeah.
places, which is interesting.
Yeah, trailer parks here are different, right? Trailer
Yeah.
Yeah,
parks
trailer
are
park
like
is different. Yeah.
immovable
Yeah,
Correct.
trailers.
Yeah.
right.
That aren't really because trailer to me is something that you put on your vehicle and
Yeah.
trails behind
Right.
you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sure, yeah. We ended up staying in Kamloops. We were supposed to be there for our 2-week quarantine. That was where we are going to stay because it was the only place that we could find, and it wasn't much of a lot. But hey, you got to do what you could do.
so you
Right?
go from not being able to get weed in Bakersfield
to
to BC.
Yeah.
At least you have that benefit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I made friends. Yeah,
I was gonna say, shit rolls around there like it's a tumbleweed.
it's
Yeah.
kind of sort of yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I really like Kamloops a lot. It's a weird little kind of city. It's kind of an industrial city, but the way it's designed, I don't know. It's just really cool. There's this one area that reminded me of this one, like Hot Wheels play set as a kid with we got like the little city folded open. It's got like a little mountainscape.
Okay.
Talk about
Yeah.
it looked like that. It was really fun
So
actually.
you
Nice.
could say it was Kamloopy.
It was very Kamloopy. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Food was great. We celebrated our birthdays there, and it was neat. We were there. Supposed to be there for 2 weeks. We were there for like 6 weeks.
Nice.
It just kind of worked out.
Wow.
There. Then we had some lovely friends. The people that came up with this whole idea or helped us with this full circle. They linked us with some people that lived in Langley, which is close to Vancouver, who let us stay on their lot. For
Oh,
free.
Very
nice.
nice. That is very nice.
Very nice.
Bonus.
And they're a wonderful, wonderful family. Shout out to Des and Eileen and your family. You guys are amazing. And yeah, they let us stay there. We made friends with them and we hung out in Vancouver. We just did all the things.
You can see the
All the
thank you
things.
cards now. Dear so and so, thank you for letting us dump our poop.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the real truth about RVs. You can't do that. So even though it was great to stay on their lot, we would have to go and travel to find
Oh,
a
to-
place
Oh,
to
really?
dump
Gotcha.
our tanks. Yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
It's like, yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
more of like a truck stop kind of thing, or
Yeah, but it's again in the U.S. they were plentiful. Like you could
Okay.
pretty much
Mm.
go anywhere, but not here in Canada. Or if you could, you'd have to pay for it.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
I know you have to pay for it, but many of the trucky type stops.
Yeah,
you can.
yeah.
But you
so
do pay.
we did find one place that was only like a good 15, 20-minute drive, and that was where, and it was free. You could just, it was public.
so you gotta take your
Nice.
whole. You gotta like sit. You gotta take your whole. Oh, that's a fucking
Yeah,
pain in the shitter.
yeah. It literally is. Yeah, yeah.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
That's not even all the other shit that you got. The shit that you got to deal with inside the RV on top of that. It's a lot. It's a lot,
Hmm.
but it's that's just what you're doing, right?
That's true.
That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. But the one thing I would say more so than anywhere, like Beck and I, we love exercise, we love walking, we love whatever, exploring, hiking, all that sort of stuff. We did a lot of that in Bakersfield and a little bit when we went up north in California, but we didn't do a terrible amount of that everywhere else. Whereas in BC, we were there for almost 2.5, 3 months. Every day. Every day we'd find like new trails.
You're going out
Yeah.
and just explore.
Oh,
and just,
man.
Nice.
And if you get a chance to spend any significant time in BC, you realize just how beautiful it is. I'm sure this can be said that about anywhere,
yeah,
right?
I agree.
But it's just like, and just their way of life is just very different than we are here in Ontario.
Yeah.
Just very
I think
different.
it depends on where you go. I think if you go
Sure.
to like Vancouver or something like that, it'd be a little more hustle bustle.
Maybe.
But I felt the same way. The only time I've been to BC a couple times, and like we went out to Vancouver Island, and it was kind of chill.
Yeah.
It was very
Yeah, we were in Vancouver Island. We were
Vancouver.
there too.
relaxed. Went
Yeah.
to Victoria, yeah.
We ended up meeting up with our friends, the people that suggested it, Pastor Gord, and that was really cool because they took us to Vancouver Island, and that was really neat. That was a fun experience to be a part of.
Nice.
Never seen it before.
Like going on the ferry and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
did and we did like a little thing in the bay there, kind of take you
In Victoria, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was really
It's
neat.
kind of like a boardwalk, but it's like
Yeah,
on the ocean.
and we had a nice
It's
Nifty.
wild.
dinner there, and
Pretty.
it's really.
I
It's
do
really
need to get out there. I've never been out there.
Oh, you'd like it a lot.
Nice.
You'd like it. Very relaxing. Very
Mhm.
very fun. And then so honestly, we were planning a movie to BC. That was, I think, where our minds were at. Like, we just loved it so much.
Yeah.
And so much changed within that short amount of time. It's like, well, this clearly needs to be the place to live.
Mm.
That, sadly, the reality is
So it's a couple of
responsibilities at
dollars.
home. Well, the responsibilities at home don't change. You got to deal with those things.
Yeah.
And that's what brought us back here early. So this would have been in August. So we didn't quite make it the year.
Did pretty
Because we did pretty good, yeah. And we ended up
especially
coming-
with everything going on.
oh,
And how
Jesus.
much did it deviate your plan? Like what
A lot.
would you have done? I guess before the knowledge of a pandemic, what was your plan?
Mm.
Okay, great question.
Because we touched on going through Georgia,
Yeah.
Florida.
So the idea would have been, sorry to cut you off, AJ. The idea would have
No, you're
been,
not, but okay, go on.
No, that's all right. No. sorry, not sorry. Would have been to travel through California, probably go to San Francisco, visit our friends, but then come back through the U.S., visit the Midwest.
Like do the lower part of the states,
Exactly.
Gotcha.
and then go on.
Exactly.
Okay, I get
In
what you're
fact,
saying.
I had intentions on going back to New Orleans because they announced Blues Fest while we were there.
Oh,
And when I
Nice.
looked at the lineup, it was the Foo Fighters and fucking everybody
Yeah.
great under the sun.
No, got
I said to
canceled
Becca, I'm
anyway,
like, we have to come back. She's like, oh, yeah,
but- nice.
clearly. So that was the goal. Well, not the goal. The idea was, okay, we're gonna go to California. We're gonna see what we're gonna do, whatever. Hang up there. Then we're gonna come make our way back. I still want to go to Colorado. I still want to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places I want to go check out. We just didn't
Well,
happen.
yeah.
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 So that was the goal. The idea was to do that instead of just hunker down.
yeah. Huh.
That
Huh.
thing. And then what we were planning on spending time in BC, like that's what we wanted to do. But the idea, like we could spend as much time as we want in BC, right? I mean,
Well, you go do the check-in in Canada, and you stay for Yeah, you have to come back in for like 10 days or something. Go
no,
go back.
it's different now. It's
Oh,
different
is it?
because what I thought was, I thought the 6-month thing was like to the day, and they're like, no, it's not that. And it's like, oh, well, how does it work? It's like, well, it's an estimate thing. Like, what do you mean? Because I was like trying to
Ah.
figure out like what day do we have to be back for?
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of like it's a per case basis. Like, well, if you leave, okay, you left, but it's like, what did you do here? How long did you stay? Are you trying to come back the next day? Oh, okay, all right. So learned something from Border Patrol
Interesting.
about that sort of
Yeah.
nonsense. So that's what we would have done. Also too, New Orleans had the best music. The Revival, the brass band.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, those fucking guys. Go check out Soul Trimmer vlog if you want to see all that fun stuff. And then stayed in Glencoe for a couple months before the winter hit.
So did you drive straight home from BC, or did you stop?
We stopped along the way, because you have to, right? Because that's okay. Like
Well,
two-day
yeah.
a lot of-
trip, 2-day trip. I mean, you think about an RV. We could only we I think the biggest stretch we got were like 5-6 hour drives.
Okay.
Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's they're long, man. They're really long. So we stayed along the way. Stayed somewhere in Winnipeg. We stayed.
Yay.
I know. Traveled to Plains, Saskatchewan. I felt like the shortest journey out of all my times across the country going across Saskatchewan. Usually, I feel like I'm there for fucking ever.
It's a small.
Yeah.
Because I know where I grew up, where we live, Kenora, which is just about 45 minutes away from the Manitoba border. Like we could make, not necessarily BC, but we could make Alberta in 12 hours.
There you go.
Something like that. So if
Yeah.
you're driving straight, like I remember the first time I went, my old man, we made it to BC in 16 hours.
Oh wow, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So that so yeah, we stayed a few places along the way, some cool spots that were neat to look at, and then honestly, the biggest stretch was Ontario. Like,
Yep.
when we
Yeah,
finally got to,
especially when you have to come
Yep.
in, not crossing the
Yeah.
border. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
that was really that.
Well, again,
longest
it's
time.
from Kenora to here is
Yeah.
a 22-hour drive.
And then we're
Yeah.
staying in fucking Walmarts in small towns across till
Where
we got
they
back.
hopefully
here.
don't catch you. It's not so
Yeah,
much
more or
allowed
less.
here.
Yeah, less.
Yeah.
Thankfully, though, I think the small towns, at least northern Ontario, it's
Yeah.
different. Like they're much more accepting of RVs and things.
Well, as long as you're only spending the night and you're
Yeah.
leaving.
yeah,
Yeah, they don't give a
I
fuck
don't
up
know.
north.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, now I know it's different, but back then, I don't know if that would be true of the Walmarts in London. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if they would have been as kosher.
I've
as that
seen
sort of-
actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
parking
when I
here
mean at
the
that
mall.
time. I mean, like at that particular time.
Yeah, I still think it
But-
would have been okay because again,
Probably,
you're sitting.
yeah.
Either way, it's if you're there
point.
just for one evening, it's one of those.
You'd be surprised. And I'm not trying to say that to play, devil's advocate or anything, but like, you think one night would be fine, and we had people that put a fucking staunch, no, you are not staying here. Nobody's allowed to stay here. Like, whoa.
I wouldn't ask
Yeah.
permission.
Really?
I would
Like
just
who?
do.
Other
Yeah.
side. Just different spots, just different Walmarts, just different. With Cracker Barrel, no, Cracker Barrel's great, but Walmarts and Costco's.
So like you'd like
things like
go
that.
into the Walmart and hey, can we stay in your parking lot? And they're like, fuck no.
Yeah.
No, why?
Why would you ask
even
permission?
ask?
Yeah,
Well, because you don't want to get ticketed, or you don't want to
ticketed
get
in a
towed.
state you're not told while you're in it. Well, I guess maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Really, that'd be
No,
fun.
it's actually against the law to be in a vehicle while it's being towed.
Oh,
Well, at least here, but
here, I
yeah.
don't know what it's like there.
Well, and that's what I'm talking about. I guess I was going off of when he got back to Canada.
fair.
And
Okay.
traveling through
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't fucking ask. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, especially
I'll
during that
sleep here,
time period.
bitch.
I would basically just be like, yeah, it's that time. We need a place. We're trying to get home. We're just parking here for the evening. Have a good sleep so we can be safe on the road
Yeah.
with your family and friends.
Sure.
That's the
yeah.
other
I
thing,
hear
right?
you,
Like,
yeah.
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 Yeah, I think from like, and I trust me, like I had lots of conversations to make sure we could stay, and thankfully I'm relatively good with my words that I can fandangle my way around some certain situations.
No,
And-
no, people
oh,
agree just to
and-
shut you up.
and my wife's pretty, so that's probably the thing. But I felt that you just don't want to ruffle feathers, especially when you're staying on someone else's property. There was one where were we at? Passing through somewhere in the U.S. and there's a state where they just don't allow you. Like it's like a law. You're not allowed to stay in parking lots in RVs or something like that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. That was you could say that about
Michigan.
well, businesses. No, it wasn't.
That sounds like Michigan.
Doesn't like Michigan, yeah. But no, that wasn't that. Yeah. So yeah, and then we got to stay for a couple months at my cousin-in-law's place.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to John Ashley. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. In our RV before the winter hit, and then moved into our apartment again.
Yeah.
And been there for past year.
A year, yeah,
Wow, it's crazy. Time.
nice.
Look at that. But I still remember, like, I'm grateful that I got to travel during the pandemic. I got, like, who could say they did that?
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true.
I'm very grateful. However, coming across the Ontario border, like, a sinking feeling just came to me. Like, I wasn't done.
Yeah.
I knew I just was
Yeah.
not done. Like, I didn't feel finished on our trip. And so that's still within me. And the funny thing is, talking to Becca, like, she clearly still wants to travel too. So
Yeah. Well, we're getting back to that spot where,
we are.
like,
Yeah.
well, and to be honest, you can actually go back into the States quite
That's
easily.
true. Now you can.
You can now, yeah, for recreation or
yeah.
It's
so-
all nice
leisure
and simple.
purposes.
and they say, what
Yeah.
did they say? If everything goes right, March 22nd in our area of 2022 things should go back.
Well,
to
yeah,
the
it'll get back to the don't need the vaccination.
Right.
No, anybody can go sit in a restaurant. All those good things.
Yeah.
Yep.
So traveling, the way we did it, I highly recommend it. However, if you could do it outside of a pandemic, probably better.
It's not a meism, but I'm glad you had a great time.
Oh, thank
I could not do that.
I think I'd
don't
be
know.
able to.
No.
To a degree.
you.
I don't mind.
I need there to be some sort of comfort.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
mind going to a place and experiencing that place, but yeah, I don't think I could do the meander and the really engage like you did. I like my home. I'm one of those annoying people.
Sure. No, I get it.
I could probably do it. I'm not a camping guy. I have
Yeah.
bad back, so I
Oh, I
can't
do like
like do
camping.
the sleeping on the ground thing
Yeah.
or anything like that. But
You would
do.
have to in an RV.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
that-
like camping. I must admit that. But
Yeah.
again, I go out for a few days. We sit and have the fire. I do a whole shitload of nothing with any technology.
Yeah. No, I like it. I just like being in new environments and with different people and different ideas and things. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my comforts too. I love
Yeah.
whatever, but we try to pack what we can and you
Yeah.
make do. And
I think that shifty guy in Louisiana was a serial murderer.
Probably
And
was.
then you got away just by the skin of your teeth. I think that's the story you should tell.
That's okay.
I think the end of that story should be and then we saw on the news 2 days later
actually
this guy.
No. What probably more is there's probably some poor fella in Louisiana is really concerned because the two of you just up and disappeared.
That too.
Right.
And he's like,
where did
"Oh
they
my
go?"
god, I was really worried. I was having such a great time, and they just disappeared."
Or because he's
suddenly.
in Louisiana and it is a very ghosty kind of town.
Exactly.
He's
Sure.
probably like, were they ghosts?
They were
Was that-
Canadian
Was
ghosts.
that voodoo?
Voodoo, daddy, voodoo.
No, it was voodoo. Wonderful of magic.
Well, I told you guys a story about the Hard Rock Hotel there, right?
No.
Oh, this is no joke. So it collapsed. People died in the building, and from my knowledge, you could see, if you stare hard enough, you could see dead bodies within the rubble. To my knowledge, I don't think it's been cleaned up yet.
I don't know.
It wasn't when we were there, and it was like 4 months removed. Maybe
Oh,
two.
wow.
Yeah, and that's fucked up.
That is fucked
That's
up.
really fucked up.
You could see bodies?
Yeah, like literally, like
Parts
I
of
see dead
bodies.
people.
Well, okay, like that seems weird even for the States. I don't.
I don't know how to describe it, but
It costs money to clean things up.
it does. But
But even this, yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I was very surprised by that.
I am too. Well,
Like if it
considering,
was the day of and there's all that shit, okay. But like, yeah. Either way,
months removed. I'm sure. I'm hoping now it has been cleaned, but I know for well after we got back in Ontario, speaking to people from the area, it had not been cleaned up yet. So
well, I can understand the rubble maybe, but
yeah,
even
too.
leaving that is fucked. Shit.
Mhm. Yeah. So there you go.
That's
How
a
it goes down.
great ending to your trip. Yeah, wonderful.
For sure. I'm going back to New Orleans. I love it. I fucking love
Nice.
it.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a weird town. Anyways.
Louisiana.
Yeah,
So
it's
that
not
was
on
our
my
trip.
list.
That was a trip across North America. I don't know where we're gonna go next. I think the three of us got a trip to Vegas in the future, and I think we're probably gonna go back to China. My wife and I at some point.
Nice.
It's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, you're allowed to now.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I'm gonna hold off. Actually, I say that, but yeah, I don't know that whole situation, the Huawei Airs, and
Well, we
What's the
released her
news?
and all
I
that.
know, I know, I know.
And then
Hey,
the two.
They
peeps.
make good phones, all right?
It's true.
They make
well,
the,
yeah.
the camera on the Huawei phone.
And the Chinese government forced you to say that. No, just kidding. I'm kidding. Kidding.
And congratulations,
No.
you are not allowed to go to China
No,
now.
no, no.
They are listening.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Prime Minister Xi Jinping.
They're gonna let me go because I said
Yes.
the Huawei phones are good.
They're the
Yeah.
best phones of life.
hmm
No better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
too much of a cheap ass anywhere, so
I
don't
hear
care.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thanks.
Anything else you want
Very
to
good
talk about? What a crazy trip that was.
No, that was a good synopsis.
Thanks. Yeah. Trying to remember it all. Yeah, I'll do it again.
See, my question is,
My question is.
why? I would probably want to do that in my own country first.
Yeah, I've been. So
Like
here's
I would want to go from east to west.
Okay.
yeah.
Well-
Maybe bypassing Ontario because I've done the Ontario thing,
Oh yeah.
right? But other than that, like, and Manitoba.
Well, both Beck and I have traveled extensively throughout Canada already. like in our own.
But have you been
lives.
up to like the Yukon?
No,
or
and actually
Northwest
that was
Territories,
we
places
wanted
like
to do that. That was what we wanted to do coming back. No, you're right. We haven't been to those places, but I've been all the way out east, been all the way out west. I've been to Quebec. I've been to every province, but I haven't been to the
Territories.
Yeah, those the only things I'm missing out on.
It's because he's having none of it.
So, but because I think we did that, we wanted to start in the U.S. And I think the idea of warmth was in our head.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
The idea is like, well, let's
Yeah.
get somewhere fucking warm.
Nice.
Because, yeah. So I
But
think
you got to
that's
get
why.
down to get warm.
That's why I did.
And they did. Yeah.
That's why I went to Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
Florida.
You out there.
You didn't
Like-
go to Florida.
Didn't?
No, you can't experience Florida unless you go to the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
Kingdom.
God.
You're right. You're right. Okay, I didn't go to Florida. I didn't go.
Didn't go to Florida. You just tickled the tip.
Jesus almighty.
Fuck.
Almighty. That's a long time tickling, let me tell you. Well, either way,
Okay.
if you want to pay for a trip to the Magic Kingdom, let me know, and I'll happily go. I want to foot that bill.
You know what? I'd probably go to Universal before I went back to the Magic Kingdom.
Universal's
too.
nice.
Yeah, me too. I like
They're
Universal.
both nice. I had fun out there with the kids.
I'm sure.
I'm more of a
sure.
movie guy.
Yeah, it was good. It was just an experience.
Yeah, and I
I've-
don't get me wrong. I'd love to do it. It's just
Yeah. For me, I've done it once. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, ultimately, both my wife and I are roller coaster junkies. So if there was one regret, if we didn't do any of those, we
Like
didn't
Six
go to any,
Flags.
we didn't go to any of those things because the RV, you don't want to
Actually,
yada yada.
we went to Busch Gardens when I was in Florida, and I enjoyed that much more than I enjoyed the Disney
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
I never did the
and
did
the
the Busch.
Universal. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that much more.
Universal's, yeah.
I've been to
Big
Universal twice, and I've
Yeah.
liked both of them.
Yeah, 'cause
Both
it's-
times very great.
I think it's more of like I'm more into movies, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Disney is a movie company,
Sure.
but I felt that when I went there, the most enjoyment I had was at what I don't know what's called now, but at the time it was called MGM Studios.
Oh yeah.
So that's where you had all of your movie
Things.
things,
Gotcha.
right? More of less of the Mickey Mouse, more
Yeah.
of the other stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I'm just busting your balls.
Let's go. Bust away, buddy. Bust away.
You do enjoy the busting.
I do.
Yep.
I'm good at it too. But
On that note.
on that note, you out there, what did you think about the journey that we had? Do you have any questions? Do you want to know more? Tell us your travel stories. Let us know what your thoughts. Just communicate with us. We just want to talk to you about life and about travel and whatever you want to talk about. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. For anybody out there that is feeling unwell mentally, we just want to let you know that you matter, not just to us, but to those that are around you. And it's important to talk about those things that are going on inside your head before things become detrimental. So if you can't talk to us, you can't talk to those that are around you. We're going to have some links in our description. Thank you. So you can get some help if you need it. But until next time, I've been Harvey.
Dave Sugargold.
I'm the guy that would poop on the tour bus. I'm AJ.
Oh, no.
To our bus.
No. That's why AJ's not allowed to come on any trips. Oh, no, just like that. Oh, you've been disturbingly and sarcastically distracted. Have so a great one, guys. Peace.
Bye now.
Take all.